The story at Talladega, Alabama is Sterling Marlin as he captures his first bush pole of 1995 at the DieHard 500. Jeff Gordon, however, has the dominant car, leading for most of the afternoon. Gordon and his teammate Kenny Schrader battling up front on lap 139. Gordon accidentally makes contact, and Kenny Schrader starts a wild ride, spinning and flipping down the long back straightaway. After the dust finally settles, 8 drivers are knocked out of the race, and amazingly, Schrader comes away with only a black eye. Teammate Gordon accepted full blame for the incident, but his car was never quite the same the rest of the day.
We just caught a little too much air over there. I don't know. I think we got turned around a little bit. Somebody caught us from the left rear. But it just took off, you know. I don't know if it took off when we hit the grass or what, but played sprint car, held on, head down, arms up.
With the field bunched up with 40 laps to go, pole sitter Marlin just flat pulls away from everybody for his 3rd win of the season. And quite a lucrative victory it is. For winning from the pole, Unocal chips in an extra $121,600 to bring Sterling's total winnings for the afternoon to just over $200,000. And to boot, Sterling cuts into Jeff Gordon's NASCAR Winston Cup point lead, as does Dale Earnhardt, as we head to Indy for the Brichard 400. If anyone wanted to use their 1995 season as a platform to prove themselves, it was definitely Sterling Marlin. He won the 1994 Daytona 500, but then came home with a disappointing 14th place finish in last season's point standings. This year, Sterling also won the Daytona 500, but that's where the comparison ends. This time around, Sterling and the Kodak bunch followed up Daytona with several impressive runs and wins as the team turned the corner from being just average to being a serious championship contender.
Last year it was a kind of a hit and miss proposition. You know, we started off really fast, and then we had some problems during the year. He was maybe a little bit too aggressive and kept knocking the front of the car off, and just had some problems. But this year we've learned some things. We've got a good race car. He's been really smart. I think he's learned how to win.
We sit back there 14th in points last year after everything was over, and knew we had a lot better team than that, and we fell out a lot of races and hurt us, and had to stop work on stuff. So, you know, this year the team is really focused and really working hard, and it's paying off for us.
On the track, things were going awfully well, but off the track, things were not so good. Team owner Larry McClure was seriously injured in a car accident. Head engine builder Runt Pittman was injured in a boating accident. But even with all of those setbacks, the team continued to click along.
So it all happened like within a 3-week period, and you know, was fortunately none of them was hurt too bad, and it come at a bad time at Talladega, and that's when was the tracks were really shine on, and went down there, and that was it run real good, but we broke 3 rock arms, and you know, just put us behind a little bit.
Of course, everything turned out just fine, as did Sterling's 1995 season, with an impressive 3 wins, including back-to-back Daytona 500s. One of NASCAR's greatest spectacles, the Brichard 400 at Indianapolis, the perfect race setting at one of racing's all-time great layouts. Oh, I'm sorry, that was last year. This year, things look a good bit more bleak. Mother Nature came to Indy sometime on Friday and didn't decide to leave until late Saturday. After a delay of almost 4 hours, the green flag falls at 4:25 in the afternoon, with hometown favorite Jeff Gordon starting from the pole. Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt all share the top spot in the early going. With 132 of 160 laps complete, Jeff Burton brings out the first caution as his Ray Bestis machine spins right in front of Wallace, but avoids any contact. Dale Earnhardt wins the race off pit road with Wallace close behind and just 27 laps to go. In the closing laps, Jarrett has the fastest car, moving up to 3rd, but that's where everybody holds their positions as Dale Earnhardt wins the 2nd annual Brichard 400.
I was better out front than I was behind, and I got behind, it was push, and it just wouldn't go as good. I go out front, and it was real good. I could go better out front, so that's the place I wanted to be. We beat them out of pits there, on that green flag stop, and into caution we had track position.
For Mark Martin, it's business as usual at Watkins Glen. For the third straight year, Martin sits on the Busch pole at the second and final road course race of the 1995 season. Martin dominates the race, but when Robert Presley's car stalls on the course with 49 laps remaining, some drivers can make it the rest of the way on fuel, while others can't. Martin's former teammate Wally Dallenbach, in a one-race deal with the Bill Davis racing team, can make it all the way, and he opens up a huge lead over the rest of the field and appears to be in good shape for pulling off a huge upset. But with 12 laps to go, oil on the track forces a caution flag, which erases Dallenbach's big cushion. 2 laps after the race restarts, Martin gets by Dallenbach and holds on to win his third straight Bud at the Glen. All 3 wins coming from the pole. Mark Martin becomes the first multiple race winner for Ford in 1995.
Let me tell you something. I wanted Wally to win, but not at my expense. We're really glad to win, but I would have loved to have seen Wally win. I really would have. He drove a great race, and they had a good race car.
Well, much like Watkins Glen has belonged to Mark Martin, Michigan is starting to become Bobby Labonte's track. After winning the race in June, Labonte returns to Michigan and grabs the Busch pole in August. The race is marked by an unusual amount of engine failures. Among the early retirees are Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, and Ted Musgrave, all in the top 5 in points. The win is decided by fuel strategy. Bobby Labonte makes a stop under caution on lap 145. Almost all of the other cars on the lead lap decide to stay out, meaning Labonte has to go 55 laps or 110 miles on 1 tank of fuel. And the longer the race stays green, more and more cars in front of Labonte have to pit for fuel. The last car to stop, Jeff Gordon, as Labonte inherits the lead and rides out the final 15 green flag laps to collect his third win of 1995. The combination of Jeff Gordon's second straight third-place finish, coupled with Dale Earnhardt's 35th place effort at Michigan, results in Gordon strengthening his hold on the top spot in the Nascar Winston Cup point standings. Earnhardt falls all the way to 4th. Well, what a spectacular year 1995 turned out to be for Bobby Labonte. One of only 2 first-time winners this season, Labonte chalked up 3 trips to victory lane, including his Michigan sweep. And yes, his first ever career win under the lights at Charlotte.
You spend a lot of time and money at Charlotte because everybody wants to do good there. That's one of the 3 races you probably want to win. So if you're going to win any, and I think it is a great deal for all of us.
Labonte has enjoyed all of this success in only his first year with Joe Gibbs Racing. But from the beginning, owner Gibbs knew that Labonte and crew chief Jimmy Makar would be a perfect match.
I guess you could sort of relate it to a guy meeting a girl and having a girlfriend. Either you have the chemistry or you don't. And I think the same thing goes with race car drivers and crews. Either you click or you don't click, and it seems that Bobby's fit right in with us. Everybody's gotten along with him. All the guys in the shop like him. He's fit in just like he's always been here. He's belonged here.
And to make matters even better for the whole Labonte clan, in 2 of Bobby's 3 wins, it was brother Terry Labonte who finished right behind him.
The race at Charlotte over there when he won the 600 was a special day for us, and for Bobby to win his first race and I finished second in it. That was a great day for us, and of all places for Bobby to win his first race, I mean, he couldn't pick a better place.
The excitement of Saturday night short track racing comes back to the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit at Bristol for the ever-exciting Goodies 500. But the rain also comes back. After a 90-minute delay, things finally get underway with Mark Martin starting from the Busch pole. Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace garner the early attention. Lap 31, Earnhardt tries to go underneath Wallace, and the Miller Genuine Draft Ford winds up in the wall. Wallace calls foul. Earnhardt chalks it up to short track racing, but NASCAR officials agree with Wallace as they black flag Earnhardt, sending him to the back of the pack. NASCAR officials throw the penalty flag once again 30 laps later. This time, Bobby Hamilton goes to the penalty box for 5 laps for spinning Brett Bodine twice. With all of the penalties out of the way, everything else is typical Bristol. 15 cautions resulting in 106 laps under yellow and plenty of wrinkled race cars by night's end. Up front, there were some surprises. Jeremy Mayfield leads for a good while, along with Lake Speed and Derek Cope. After making his way from the back to the front, Dale Earnhardt suffers another setback. On a restart, he tags Derek Cope when he misses a shift. With front-end damage, Earnhardt has to make several stops for repairs, setting him way behind the leaders once again. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett has the top spot with Terry Labonte charging. 69 laps to go, the elder Labonte takes the lead for the first time as the midnight hour draws near. Just when it appeared Terry Labonte would run away with his third victory of 1995, here comes old Ironhead mowing down the field on his way to the front again, this time on fresher tires. At 12 laps to catch leader Labonte after passing second place Jarrett. White flag, Earnhardt closes in a hurry. He and Labonte make contact. Labonte hits the gas, crosses the finish line, and goes sideways into the wall, but still wins. And Earnhardt, showing that championship flair, coming from the back to the front twice, finishes second. But it's Terry Labonte in victory lane with what is, I guarantee you, the most torn-up race car you'll ever see win a race. A little more post-race? How about some Saturday night short-track tempers? Rusty Wallace, still mad at Dale Earnhardt for their lap 31 tussle, lets Ironhead know about it. After a few heated words, both drivers cool down, take a few days off, and apologize to each other the following week at Darlington. Which leads us right to the track too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway for the Mountain Dew Southern 500, where John Andretti leads a NASCAR Winston Cup field to the green flag for the first time in his career. This time, no hard feelings between Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace as they treat the sellout crowd to some great racing, battling for the lead. Three important accidents happen early. First, championship contender Mark Martin gets caught up in this accident. After some 50 laps of repairs in the garage, the Valvoline Ford limps home 33rd. Dale Jarrett, a serious threat for the win, finds trouble on lap 125. Any thoughts of a win go out the window for the Robert Yates Racing team. Then point leader Jeff Gordon brings out caution number 4 on lap 136. He spins and triggers a multi-car accident that includes Jeremy Mayfield, Ricky Rudd, and Jeff Burton. Gordon comes away with minimal damage. But the young Gordon shows some great patience as he fights his way back to the front, biding his time, eventually passing Hutch Strickland to take the lead for good with 34 laps to go, and holding off the best veterans in the business in the form of Dale Earnhardt, who finishes second, and Rusty Wallace, who comes home third. Jeff Gordon makes a big statement by winning the Southern 500, not to mention taking a big step towards his first NASCAR Winston Cup championship.
I tell you, this team was championship caliber today, that's for sure. We had to come back from a lot of things. We had to fight. I've never really been in a battle with Earnhardt and Rusty and them towards the end, and that was a great accomplishment for me and this team. But, the car was not that good at the beginning of the race, and, man, they just kept working. We were a championship caliber team today, and I'm real proud of this DuPont Chevrolet.
With Jeff Gordon's win and Mark Martin's poor finish, Gordon extends his NASCAR Winston Cup point lead to 217 over second-place Sterling Marlin. Martin drops to fourth, seemingly out of the race. The final night race of the season comes at Richmond International Raceway, with Dale Earnhardt starting from the pole, and once again, Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace thrill the sellout crowd with some great side-by-side racing. Sterling Marlin suffers a big hit in his quest for the NASCAR Winston Cup title. The Kodak Chevy having rear-end trouble, spending some 38 laps behind the wall making repairs. Sterling finishes 33rd. Rusty Wallace has the dominant car, leading 254 of the race's 400 laps, and makes the Miller Genuine Draft 400 a battle for second place as Wallace collects win number 2 of 1995. Terry Labonte wins that battle for the runner-up spot, holding off Dale Earnhardt, who comes home third. Point leader Jeff Gordon finishes 6th. And for the first time this year, Sterling Marlin fails to finish the race. And that's reflected in the point standings as Marlin drops to 3rd and Earnhardt moves up to 2nd.